Hey everybody, it's Chuckleseed, and I'm back again with another 1/6 scale figure unboxing. Today, we're taking a look at ThreeZero's Tanjiro Kamado from Demon Slayer. Now, I've been sitting on this figure for a while now, but unfortunately I got sick, so it took a little while to finish this video. But I did release a short on my social media platforms, so thank you so much if you watched it. Here's a quick look at the packaging. There's a window display behind a flap in the front. This is pretty typical for a lot of ThreeZero figures, at least the ones that I own. Now let's get this figure out of the box. Starting from the bottom, you get the ThreeZero warranty sheet and the instructions. Now, I never fill out the warranty sheet, and luckily I never had to use it, but let me know if you have, and let me know if it was helpful. As always, I do recommend to check out the instructions just to make sure you don't break your figure. Now, this figure comes with 5 pairs of hands, including a pair that's already on the figure. Then it comes with one single left-handed sword scabbard holding hand and a couple extra wrist pegs. So I do think that it is a nice assortment. Then you'll also see a water-breathing effect piece, which is a nice touch. But it is a little heavy, so it can weigh down some of the poses. So the sword ports into the effect piece, but just a heads up, it's a pretty tight fit. I noticed the effect piece left some white paint on the sword. Luckily it came off after a little rubbing, but hopefully it doesn't damage the paint on the sword in the long run. Now the kimono or the hayori is packaged separately. It's pretty nice. Now I don't really know my fabrics, but I do think it's some type of polyester blend. A wire runs along the bottom of the hayori, which helps out for posing. And here's a closer look at some of the hands. ThreeZero added some extra detail and weathering to Tanjiro's hands. Now I know it's not the most innovative or groundbreaking, but it's a very smart decision. I think it's a nice touch, and it does show ThreeZero's attention to detail to the character. If you're familiar with the anime/manga, Tanjiro's hands do get worn down from being a swordsman. So this was something little, but I do think it was a very smart decision, and it pays off in my opinion. And here's a wooden box/backpack that Tanjiro uses to transport Nezuko. It's plastic that's made to look like wood. The straps are made out of some pleather material. The straps aren't adjustable. I kinda wish that they were, but it's all good. I'm pretty happy with this accessory. Here's Tanjiro's black Nichiren sword. It feels like the blade is made out of metal, but the guard and handle are plastic. The scabbard is plastic as well. Tanjiro also comes with a knife. This is a knife that he used to collect blood samples for Miss Tamayo. It's pretty small, so be careful not to lose it. This figure also comes with a breath effect. I really didn't know how they were going to do this, but it's pretty clever. It attaches with a magnet. Another cool accessory. Tanjiro comes with a total of 3 face plates, all of which have Hanafuda earrings. The Hanafuda earrings feel like they're some type of paper, and they're connected with a string. So this one is a serious faceplate. I really like how this one turned out. The breath effect can only attach to this faceplate. If you flip it around, you can see the magnet on the other side. He also comes with a gag faceplate. It's pretty funny, and I'm happy they included this. And Tanjiro was shipped with a smile faceplate on. This is your good boy Tanjiro look. He looks a little derpy, but I can't complain. I still like it. I mean, a good Tanjiro figure should have a good boy look. Swapping out the faceplates is pretty easy. The hair is a little spiky, so be careful not to hurt yourself or break any of the spikes in accident, but you just need to remove the front piece to access the faceplate, and then you just kind of wiggle it off. To reattach, you just line up the grooves and it's all pressed to fit. Pretty easy. And I did want to point out how well it blends in. You couldn't tell that there was a separate piece here. Good job, ThreeZero. So I did want to cover some of the articulation. Sorry I didn't get the best footage here, but I'll try to walk you through it. It feels like he has double jointed arms, but it felt like the top bicep joint was stuck or his clothing was hindering the movement. I didn't want to force it. Arms can go forward about 90 degrees, probably a little bit more, but I didn't want to push the fabric. Arms can go out to his sides, just a little bit over 90 degrees. He has bicep swivel. He has forward crunch about this much. He has some backward crunch, but I didn't want to push it. His legs are actually very impressive. He can almost do a full side splits, and it feels like he has double jointed knees. Oh, and before I forget, he does have a barbell connecting his head to his neck, so he has some decent articulation there. Moving his legs forwards probably got about a 90 degree. You can probably go a little past 90 if you adjust the fabric. I did notice that if you push his knee articulation, that his shin guards kind of leave this gap. I mean, it's not too bad, but it's just something to watch out for. And he has some really tight ankles with some good side-to-side pivot. But yeah, the articulation of this figure is pretty nice, especially the legs. Alright, so it's time to complete his look and put on his Hiyori. I did want to mention that his belt is made out of plastic. I think that's a pretty good decision, because I feel like ThreeZero could have easily made this pleather, but going plastic I think is better, especially for the longevity. And there we go, good boy Tanjiro. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Now for a couple size comparisons. Here's Tanjiro next to some other ThreeZero figures. Here he is next to Chainsaw Man and Your Forager. I think Tanjiro is good in height next to them, but his proportions are a little different compared to the others. It might just be me, but I feel like his head looks much bigger than theirs. But it's definitely not a deal breaker. I still think that these guys look great on an anime shelf. And here he is next to the SNC Soso Toys Flame Hashira. This is the only other 1/6 scale Demon Slayer figure that I have. Tanjiro is a bit large next to the unlicensed figure, but they still look great together. I really wish we get more Demon Slayer figures soon. So I did want to point out that Tanjiro does not come with anything to put in the wooden box / backpack, but this is pretty cool because my wife did get me some Demon Slayer figures from Temu a while back, and I think this Nezuko works great for a fill-in as a chibi Nezuko. I want to say I heard that other people use an SHF figure that fits in there, but I think this one works just fine, and I think it's a decent size. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how this figure turned out. I do think that ThreeZero made a lot of great choices. Weathered hands, their approach on the faceplates, and great tailoring. And I actually liked how they handled the Hanafuda earrings. I had issues with Your Forager's earrings, and I do think that ThreeZero approached Tanjiro's earrings much better. I do wish that the wooden box didn't use pleather straps, and it would have been nice if the straps were adjustable. And I do think that a Nezuko accessory for the wooden box would have been icing on the cake, but it's all good. I had a lot of fun with this figure, and I hope ThreeZero makes more Demon Slayer figures, because I'm so happy with how this turned out. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. So until next time, stay awesome, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one. Chuckleseed signing off.